Welcome to CyberwearNFT. Zoha. Zoha, she is a 3D designer, fashion designer, and illustrator. She collaborated with lots of big brands like Gucci, Schiaparelli, and I'm sure that later we are gonna speak about it. And so, hi Zoha. Could you introduce yourself?
Hi, how are you, Claudia? Thank you so much for inviting me and making me part of your podcast. So I am a 3D designer and fashion illustrator. I am from Pakistan and I started back in 2019. I didn't learn, I wasn't familiar with 3D at that time. So I didn't start it with that. I started with fashion illustrations, and with time I started getting into 3D and more of the software side. And then I was like, I want to merge that with fashion illustrations, because right now nobody is using that as a medium. They are your traditional artists who use mediums like watercolors and stuff like that, or there are the digital artists, but those are the artists who use Procreate or Autodesk Sketchbook, or stuff like that. But when we come to 3D, that is a whole new medium, and people were not familiar with that. And when I started making work on that, so I started getting a lot of recognition, and that felt very encouraging, because this is something very new, and the way that everybody has accepted it so quick is kind of very affirming for new artists and people who are belonging to the fashion and also the art industry, because it is a very, very powerful medium, and it really helps take your work and bring more life into it, because we can connect it with, we can also make videos out of it, we can make animations out of it. So there are a lot of possibilities that we can come up with, which makes it very exciting.
Amazing. And so what is your vision now? What do you want to convey for your design?
My designs are mostly, you'd see a lot of natural elements in those, because I believe that the more we're moving towards the digital, we're forgetting the realism. And we kind of want to make things that were not possible through, the mediums that we had before. But I want to keep that alive, in the sense that I want to bring back natural elements. My work is more to the realistic side, where I want that everything looks as realistic as possible. Like, even if I make any editorial image, that I want to render it in a way that it looks like it was clicked on a real model. So that is how I make my work. So I want, I don't know if that is a good strategy at this moment, because with the power that we have through softwares, that we can create whatever we want, and we can make it, like, we can make a basic outfit into something that was not possible before. Like in this last fashion week, I loved how Ilona Song made that iron dress, and it was so fascinating. Like when she had it on real time in the runway show, that was even more enlightening. It was a new way to look at things, and it was very intriguing to see how people were excited to see it, and it was very cool to see that. So maybe I would like to shift a little bit from realism to this, but yeah, somewhere in between. But you would see a lot of nature in my work.
I love nature. When you finished uni, how was it your approach to the Web3? So to the, let's say, job world, from school to work?
It was very different. I think when I was graduating, that was right when Corona hit, and that is when the boom of Web3 started. But at the same time, that was the time when I started learning 3D. So I hadn't dived into Web3 or NFTs at that point. I knew nothing about it. But with time, I think Web3 is like a very strong platform, which gives a lot of authority and a lot of you could say flexibility in terms of what we can achieve through that. At the moment, I do not have a label that I'd say I want to introduce into Web3, but as a solo artist at the moment, I do believe that it is a very powerful tool for solo artists as well. So through NFTs and like platforms like Spatial and stuff, where you could make your own galleries and your own events, host your events in the space. I think that is very wonderful. You can connect to so many people. You can even have webinars, and you could have different meetings over there. So that is really cool.
Could you tell us your collaboration with Swatch for Dubai Expo in 2020?
Yes, I'd love to. That was my work. That was a 3D. That was not a 3D digital art. You could say that was a 2D print that I designed for them. It was so the topic was that we had to make a design that represented our country. So we had to take like different elements and just come up with a print that would be printed on the watches. And since it was for their Dubai Expo, it was a campaign that was designed as so that our custom watches were going to be available at the expo for a month. So you could go get your watch printed at the same time, and you could also, since Swatch we all know is more of like you can customize a lot in that. So that made it very interesting, and it was a wonderful experience. I even got the opportunity to come on TV, and it was very interesting.
Amazing. Could you speak about your presence at the New York Fashion Week that you ran recently?
Yes, of course. That was also wonderful. I can't believe all of this happened in literally a year, Claudia. I've been so busy this year, and it was amazing. I mean, I connected with Claire back probably in March, and she is a wonderful person. What she's doing is amazing. And the fashion week was pretty engaging, and there was a lot of hype about it, and it was really exciting. I created an animation film for them. It was called Realm. So I wanted it to be around the concept of a physical garment, but how the garment would be in their own world. Like imagine if you have a beautiful red dress, and you would obviously put it in the most well kept part of your closet where you wouldn't want anything to touch it, or you just want it to be special, right? But imagine that red dress in its own world as the queen or the king, and imagine how they'd keep themselves. So that was my concept. And I just wanted to show a whole world of I designed a jacket, 3 jackets. So I wanted to show their personalities through different regions that they were in. And it was just a royalty kind of a film that, yeah, it was that.
So how is collaborate with the big brands, like in general? And if you wanna tell us a particular episode or a particular collaboration, feel free.
I think connecting through brands would be just to be more active on social media, but by active, I mean you tag the right people, you put in the right hashtags, and you know, every brand, they look at their hashtags all the time, every time, like even the smallest kind of hashtag, even for a small campaign, because it does not have to be that the director sees the post, you know, it could be a designer, it could be a marketer, it could be for anyone from PR, and the PR people are the most important people. So if anybody sees it, that's a win. If anybody engages, you need to know the people apart from the directors, which everybody knows, but you need to know other people who work in the brand, because they're the people who actually help you out. And also, if you're a fashion illustrator or a 3D designer or just a fashion designer, anybody, you need to connect with people from your field. The connections are so important, and we actually don't really, you know, we forget the value that they have. But, you know, just having those people around you, they help you, they, you know, even motivate you when you're not feeling that great about your work. You could even ask for advice from them. Maybe they could connect you to some of their connections. So, you know, just keep the ball rolling, just don't give up, because persistence is key. You have to keep going, even if you know, you get one like on your post, and that means somebody did like it, because people never stop from not liking your work. If they don't like it, they will say this is shit. So if nobody said that, believe in yourself, it is good.
Thank you. And I don't know if you would like to share the screen with some illustration of 3D works, and you want to show us something.
So this was the artwork that I made for Swatch. So if you see closely, Lahore is a city in Pakistan. So this is like our monument. So this is very iconic. So I really had to put that in. So that's Minar-e-Pakistan, and then some typography in Urdu. So this is basically, sorry, I did not even explain. This is actually um, inspired from truck art. Truck art is a very old tradition where in the subcontinent you'd see old big trucks, you know, heavy loaded trucks, and we would decorate them with typography. It would have a lot of colors. It would be very colorful, blingy, and every truck driver who owns the truck would have their own style of decorating their truck. So that is also very interesting. Some even go to an extent that they decorate it with lights, different kind of lights and different patterns and stuff. So that is also very cool to see. So there are like different patterns that I put in. There's this maroon and black and white one, which is called Ajrak print, and that is like our Sindhi print. And then there are these floral, we call them gajras. Oops, sorry. We call them gajras. That is something that you wear on your hand. And it could be on any occasion, honestly. It could be, you know, new brides wear them, young girls wear them. So it could be any occasion. And then these are kites in the center, which represents a festival that we have, which is called Basant, which is a kite flying festival that happens every year. So that is also very exciting. So I wanted to put in all those elements as much as I could, and this was the end product.
Amazing. That's so nice that we've been like dive a bit in your like country and cultural things. So
Yes, it was very exciting. It was very exciting, and to, you know, to have such a big brand also be attached to it and make your art, which that you made to represent your country, go across the globe, and for everybody to view, that is a great honor. I was very humbled.
amazing. But do you have also a current NFT collection that you just minted, or is it?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I do actually.
Ask you, what do you think about AI? Have you ever used?
Um, not AI, but I am into AR and VR filters, and that is pretty amazing. I was actually just discussing it with a fellow designer, and we were discussing how we have such a big margin in that field, in that category, because even like Snapchat is also still working on making their software better. And I know that the Insta one is not that great as Snap is, and Snap is also still working on making it better, because before it was all about changing your face and a bit of the features, or maybe the smurfing your face and stuff like that, but now it's onto the clothes also, and also jewelry and stuff like that. So that is pretty new to us.
Nice. Okay, so let's start.
Okay, so these are the same articles that I had in my video, the animation that I did for Fashion Week. So the same articles we took and translated into NFTs, and we made like whole looks for them. So this is one of them.
Nice.
So they're one-offs. There are no copies of them. There's only one of one, and when you get it, you also get you send us an image of yours, and then we Photoshop the whole garment on top of you with the perfect lighting and the perfect fit, and you get a picture of yours with that outfit also. So that's one of the unlockable contents that we're giving, the perks when you buy the NFT.
Great. It's
So
fun
yeah.
that it's turning around. Like,
Yeah.
and it's really like fast.
Yeah, it is, yes. So we have 3 looks at the moment. Okay, so these are some of the 3D works that I've done. This was for a brand that I used to work for. This was for their first digital collection. So for this one, I designed, I did the fashion designing and the textile designing and the execution and the idea. I did everything for this one. So that was one of my first projects ever. So and it was also for a local brand, so it was a little special to me. So this was the look that we created, and then this was my illustration that I did for Gucci x Adidas Open Cause. So this was more of like you could call it a fan work, when you make work for big brands just for them to notice you, because that is how they are going to actually contact you, because this is how you show them, this is your way of showing your portfolio to them. So this is one of those works. And this was when Gucci liked my work, and the head of PR, he commented on my post. So that was very, very cool. So this was also one of the posts from that collection. So this was all Clo. This was again from one of those collections that I did for the local brand. So some of that work. This article is actually it was still available on their stores like a few months ago. So it was a very beautiful pleated printed dress. It was really cool. So yeah, work like this. This is the kind of editorial kind of work that I do. And for fashion illustrations, this is more my style, where I've already shown you this watch one. Then this was a runway illustration that I did. This was made in 30 minutes. this was just a 30-minute sketch. But it was a fun exercise that we did. So yeah, this is kind of my aesthetic when it comes to fashion illustrations, more of 2D art, you could say. So I merge a lot of, it's more of a collage style, maximalist kind of work, kind of vibe that I go for. So yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Zoha. It was really nice
No
to meet you. And
Same here.
yeah, I really hope to see you soon.